My thing out.
It's the entire East Coast, Adrian.
It's gonna be ugly. He said, "What should I wear?" I ain't never been bombed before. What should I wear? It is what it is. I'm gonna take this title right here. Well, if ain't nothing to prepare for, hey, it is what it is, man.
Adrian, this is some
I'm right
real
here. I'm
shit.
live streaming the whole event. I'm going live right now. It's 9:36. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live and trying to upload this vlog right now. Paste. Next. Uploading this last vlog of me and my family. Whoever finds it, we the Carters. We are the Carters. I'm gonna go straight public, so when it go up, it go up. There you go. Title it. Should title that shit. Might be our last vlog. Last vlog
Trump
before.
plans to address the nation at 10 p.m.
It's 9:37 right now. What is he gonna say?
DC, the White House is on complete lockdown.
This yo, I'm live, yo. We live. I need to be live on the other one too. We live.
I gotta put some clothes
We
on.
live everywhere. Going live on TikTok too. Where we at? Where we at TikTok? He's offering you $1 million. We're going live on TikTok too. We're gonna be live everywhere. We live everywhere.
Where my bag, Adrian? Where my 100-piece bag?
Huh?
Where my bag?
Don't walk over here naked, bro.
Where's my bag?
What bag?
The
What?
bag I bought off of Amazon.
In the front. I put it at the door.
All right.
I'm gonna title this the same thing. Did you pack?
Cause we are in the affected area, y'all. We gonna
Bug.
if something happens, we fuck.
Boom.
Why can't he leave them fucking people alone, Adrian? I'm so confused.
Am I going live, right?
Damn, and no people fucking told him there will be severe consequences.
Alright.
Kayla, you got a book bag
right?
that you got that you're not using? Because we are in the affected area if the motherfuckers decide to bomb DC.
Oh, can I make a chat for TikTok too on here? Ooh. Let me try. Wait. Let me see.
Kiara, you got a backpack?
Everybody go live. So we can get all the footage.
Somebody think I'm going fucking live right now.
I'm telling you, go live. So when this might be the last one for you. Yo, my name is Carter. I go by the name of Carter. This might be our last rodeo.
Kayla, did you pack
The president done bombed Iran.
And I got green back here.
This might be your last rodeo right here. I did good for myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of everything I did. I'm proud.
He really bombed
the goods, the bads, the happy, the sads. I'm good for everything I did. Everything I have done. I'm a good guy. Alright? I'm a good guy, yo. I'm a good guy. I'm gonna try to put TikTok in here, though. Let me put TikTok in here. Oh, where is the TikTok? Can I put TikTok in here? Let me see. Action platform. Account. YouTube. Twitch. YouTube. Oh, nah, I can't put TikTok. I can't put TikTok in here. Nah, she wanted to pack her bug out bag. Told you pack that bag. Am I live on YouTube right now?
People are going to die. I did not think he was gonna fucking do no shit like that.
Can I hear all the alerts? It is what it is.
That's not right.
It is what it is, man. Nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. I'm trying to keep this shit cool.
I can't even process this shit if I'm being honest.
You say you can't process it?
No,
You don't believe what happened?
Because ain't nobody think he was gonna do no shit like that. Why would you go fucking with somebody who ain't fucking with you?
No YouTube broadcasts are currently monitored in the streamer bot.
We are fucked.
Is everything
Oh, my
open?
man.
Oh man. I don't even know I can't even see the YouTube. How can I test this? Yeah. This might be my last rodeo, man. This man done bombed these people up, bro. He's crazy. Toaster, what's good? I was just trying to see my YouTube chat is not popping up here. Hold on. I gotta try to copy. I can't see the chat.
They talk about if you want like the East Coast and a nuclear bomb, if they decide to shoot if they got a nuclear bomb and it reaches the mainland, the East Coast is going to be devastated. That shit is all over the
Can't see the chat. I can't see the chat.
The fucking stores is ridiculous.
Apply. My chat is messed up. What's going on? Oh, live chat. There we go. I'm good now. All right, what's going on, Toaster? What's going on?
Now, people are going to die.
You see this man, President Trump done bombed these people.
I can't, man. I can't. This
They
man
done bomb these people.
Hey, that's what I'm
in business?
saying.
Yeah, I got the chat up now. I'm good. I'm trying to put the chat up now on this top screen up here. You chilling? I'm chilling too, man. I just found that our president done bombed these people, and we on the East Coast, and we're close to Washington, so if anything happens, we are in one of the zones.
They said we told Mr. Trump to stay out of
it. Hey, I told people from a couple days ago, did you pack your bug out bag? Not even if it wasn't for me, but do you have your bug out bag for yourself?
It's going to be devastating. That's what they just
You could be on the other side of the world. I'm on the East Coast.
They just said it's going to be devastating.
If I don't get a chance to get out of my house, this might be my last live right here. This might be my last live. Who knows? Let me pull up a chat for TikTok over here, though. Let me pull up a chat for TikTok. So I can see everything. She talking to her aunt over there.
And this ain't got nothing to do with us. We didn't even ask to be here. This ain't got nothing to do with us.
Oh, man.
And they so stupid, man. I hate these fucking white people.
Whoa. You can't say that to these people. Whoa. She's going crazy right now, chat.
They put his ass back in office knowing he incompetent.
She's going crazy right now.
And they was afraid Kamala was going to start a war.
All kind of shit right now. Yo, what is going on? I'm in a scary zone less than 30 miles from where we make our nukes. Damn, maybe I'm not welcome here. Nah, it ain't for you. You sure don't mean it like that. She don't mean it like that. She's not racist. Talking about Obama, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff, man. She hurting right now. Damn. Say he's supposed to talk at 10 o'clock. Is it 10 p.m. Eastern? I want to know what he's saying. What is he gonna say?
I'm in shock. I cannot believe he did that.
Let me woman going in. She's going crazy. 10 Eastern. What else I'm gonna do here?
I gotta hit the one. I gotta hit the one. There's no way I can do this.
Yo, you can hear her. You can hear her, yo. Oh my God.
Yeah, we are on the East Coast. They
Oh
say
man,
it's going to devastate the East
they
Coast.
blowing. They gonna blow us up, man. Iran gonna blow us up.
And
You could what? She needs a podcast. I'm telling you. I told her that already.
that's what the news
I
is
told her
saying,
that
is that
already.
we don't know what they
She could
have
talk
that
her
includes
head
the
off.
mainland.
Talk her head off.
And I really thought
Nah, they gonna be on the phone forever. I gotta call my sister. My sister probably hop in the live. I probably tell her hop in. I think she out of the house right now. And my other sister, she in New York right now. Let me see. TikTok. What's going on with my TikTok? Access approved. Exactly now. Let me join my live. What's going on here? TikTok. How do you see your live? I can't see my live over the computer. How do I see the live? I gotta click my own live. Do I? This is the only way for me to see my own live? Yeah, I guess so. Can you see? This woman going crazy. Oh man. Okay. YouTube is not connected on this screen. You should pull your live up in a different window or device. Yeah, I got it up here. I'm using this what is it? This new chat bot. So the chat bot, you can have all the chats on one screen. I don't know how to put into TikTok though. But I got TikTok pulled up now where I can look at it. You don't think I ran well? If you don't think so,
and it's crazy because I
why won't they?
met with China.
Why won't they strike us? Why won't they strike us?
So can you imagine?
Why won't they do it? Why won't they? Why won't they do it? They're having a hard enough time with Israel. Oh man. These people do whatever they want. It's out of our hands. Nobody didn't think Trump was gonna do that dumb shit. And he went ahead and did it. He went ahead and did it anyway. It's crazy he did that. And we just left Costco, which Costco is like a liquidator store. Like you want to get stuff in bulk. And we just came from there. And now people are there right now going crazy. People going crazy at Costco right now. We just left it. I just did a whole vlog. I think like 2 hours and 40 minutes of a vlog. That what stopped me from going live. I didn't go live just because of that. What am I hearing? Oh. TikTok. It's crazy. We got Costco and Sam's Club. See, Iran is the size of New Jersey. Nah. If they got missiles, if they ain't got no missiles to fly all the way over here, then that's fine. There's nothing to worry about. All of it'll land in the water. So I got the right vibe to make it. Now my wife talking about she can't go to sleep. She can't go to sleep. This is wild activity. So right now, platforms, YouTube account. I don't know why this YouTube account stopped connecting. Now what they about to say? No, it's the wrong one. No. Disconnect. Reconnect. What is going on? Alright, disconnect. Sign in. They signed into the wrong account. What's up with you? Twitch. YouTube. Disconnect. Sign in. Nah, they signed me in the wrong account. Oh, fuck. I did something wrong, huh? I messed up. Yeah. Let me close this shit. Said I got the right vibe to make it. We gonna see. You said they ain't gonna hit us, then they ain't gonna hit us, then I guess, huh? They ain't got no missiles to fly this far. Yeah, all the missiles gonna fall in the water. We gonna see. We gonna see. See, they signed me into the wrong account. Yeah, they signed me into the wrong account. Platforms, YouTube, Twitch. Where the hell is YouTube? That's the wrong YouTube. Sign in. Yeah, they signed me into the wrong fucking account. Disconnect and delete. And what? Platforms, YouTube, sign in. They signed me into the wrong account. Signed me to the wrong damn account. All right. Oh shit! Cancel. Fuck. Did it again. I fucking did it again. Forget it, can't. Yeah. Shh, quiet. There we go. Auto connect. Save. Alright. Twitch. Twitch should be good. Chat. Both better be up here. Let me see. YouTube, yep. Alright, both good. We good now. Yeah, man. Gotta relax, man. You gotta relax. Whatever happens, happens. You gotta relax. It is what it is. Yo, stop fucking. That is not why I did not. That's not the reason why I didn't vote for her. That was not the reason. I voted independent. Alright. Independent. Man. This Marty Kiara. Can you let me in my live center now? This ain't working. I ain't using that. Man, that shit on 11%. It is what it is. Might as well. Let me see. Where this dude live at? I subscribe to this dude. Flight Reacts Dunk. Real Talk TV. What did do that? This is right here. Let me pull this dude up. Let me pull this dude up.
This is wild. This is a wild thing. It's about this is wild. It's getting crazy. I mean, you don't know what to expect in the world that we live in nowadays. You don't know what to expect. Everything is crazy.
The Israeli government has been supporting for a long time. The U.S. has far greater military capabilities than Israel, and they.
Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to get here. I'm gonna see if President Trump is on here. I'm gonna see if he's on the news real quick. This all you see, all this stuff, it's crazy. I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna try to see if Trump is on the news right now. See what's going on.
I got it pulled up now. I got it pulled up on YouTube and Twitch.
This is wild. Trying to search for real quick Trump to see if he don't know. I think he's supposed to make a speech about this.
Say he gonna make a speech.
Social media, you know, Trump, he looking at Trump.
This dude got his camera facing the TV on YouTube while he's searching. And I'm the nigga to watch. Crazy. It's 10:07. Damn, I can't blow down on here. Not YouTube, not TikTok.
All planes are now outside Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that has done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm here with CNN Sherry in Tel Aviv. Obviously, Jeremy, this is something that we have been waiting for and watching for. We got the word earlier today that B-2s were in the air. There has been some reporting they're heading towards Guam. We don't know exactly what aircraft were used in this. They set a full payload of bombs, which
Yo, everybody got this joint televised, yo. Everybody got this televised. It's crazy.
I'm trying to see if he's actually on TV right now. Trying to find them all.
No bueno, yo. He ruining it. Our president, man.
Let's go right to Vaughn Hillard. He is at the White House. Vaughn, what else have we learned?
the president just returned from his New Jersey golf course just about 2 hours.
He said he returned from his New Jersey golf course 2 hours ago. My man was golfing, yo.
Right as this social media post was put out by the president, I saw Secretary of State Marco Rubio on his phone outside of the West Wing.
It was crazy.
The president just yesterday, when I was with him on the tarmac in New Jersey,
Go to bed. They about to bomb y'all in New York.
agreement with the United States and
You gonna bomb y'all.
to Iran territory.
Well, I don't know. Let me not use that word on here. Damn, I can't use that word on TikTok.
2 weeks max, but notably did not rule out a more
Yo,
immediate strike.
it's crazy.
Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu has
It's
asserted
crazy.
that, Israel had the
Getting
capacity
crazy.
to take out the nuclear facilities. And when I asked the president very specifically about the Israeli prime minister's claim,
Wow.
he pushed back and undercut that assessment, saying that the U.S. was the only one that had the bombing capabilities to strike, particularly the Fordo nuclear site, which there are activities half a mile under the ground. It is not clear at this point in time whether B-2 bombers were used.
Man, should I hit? What y'all hit through here?
Take out the Fordo nuclear site, so I don't want to jump ahead of what we know here at this time. But for the president, this is
Yes, it is. Yes, it is,
a
Brett.
striking moment. Attacking
Through here, let me see.
country that the president himself had a part of the last 2 months to negotiate with. But clearly, the president
You can hear that good?
to go forward with these strikes despite Iranians.
You can hear that?
They would respond in kind by attacking U.S. military installations. There are a lot of outstanding questions here about where Iran goes from this moment.
Can you hear that?
The United States standing in solidarity with Israel who 1 week ago
I'm going to be going by then. Going when? When? When you coming back? When you coming back home? When you coming back home?
I had a chance to ask the president yesterday very specifically how this moment was different than the decision of the previous Republican administration more than 20 years ago to strike over questionable intelligence about weapons of mass destruction. And he said that he knew that they were building a nuclear weapon. That is in contrast to the assessment of its own director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard,
I need to make a.
that the U.S. intel community
I need to make another chat. I gotta make a pop out chat for this. Can I put moderator settings? You leaving Tuesday?
That's right. We know that especially over the last months,
Can you hear the? Can you hear this sound?
uranium that could go
Can you hear what I'm playing?
a nuclear weapon, but there's a distinction. Again, just yesterday in an interview with Andrea Mitchell, the Iranian foreign minister exclusively told her that they are using uranium for peaceful purposes. Now, the question here that you just alluded to was Tulsi Gabbard. Again, Donald Trump, the president's handpicked director of national intelligence, standing by.
Man, can you pop out this chat?
They have no intel that an actual nuclear weapon was being developed. Now, there are questions of whether that would take weeks, months, potentially a year to actually build that weapon. But the Iranian foreign minister
View live access.
that they had no intent to build a weapon. Of course, this is a long-standing
Access approved.
between the United States and Iran. It was 10 years
So
ago
what is
that
this?
the Obama administration, an initial nuclear agreement was struck between several European countries and the United States. It would allow inspectors into several of these facilities, including the Fordo nuclear site that we were just discussing. It exists grounds here, but back in 2018, Trump administration decided to pull
This is crazy.
provisions. They said that it did not address proxies of
You gotta go live, Bird.
that they felt that issuing sanctions would be more serious means. So there's a lot of questions here tonight for the president of the White House to answer.
I wish I could see.
And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Damn. Damn, damn, damn. What the hell did I do? Oh man, done struck these people. Thanks, bro. You can hear that on TikTok. Probably can't hear.
Three separate Iranian nuclear facilities, including the Fordow nuclear facility deep underground outside of the Iranian capital of Tehran. The bottom line here is that people...
And they saying that he wasn't even supposed to bomb them people. They said that he didn't even have congressional approval to do it. He just went on his own recognizance and did that to the fucking people. We all dead. Dead. It don't matter where we go, we dead.
These comments is crazy over here.
We dead. Let me charge up my shit.
Trump forgot Zelensky.
Zelensky.
Taco Man is afraid.
See that is?
Some people speaking in other languages. He is mad that Zelensky didn't have to campaign to vote while in active war.
Listen.
It's crazy. There was that 60-day window that President Trump
It is
gave
what
the
it
Iranians
is.
to come to the table. 5 rounds
I ain't
of
wanna listen.
conversations, most of them taking place
I
in
ain't wanna
Oman, with Steve Witkoff,
Oh, one of
President
them
Trump's
glizzies, though.
envoy, other top American officials meeting directly and
Might be my
indirectly with
last
their
glizzy,
Iranian
man.
counterparts, but the Iranians did not want to finish the deal.
Let me go.
And ultimately, the decision
Let me take this with me. I'll be back, y'all.
My bag right here.
developing between the two countries.
Right
And then
about
again
that.
tonight,
At
the
least in
Americans
Marston,
getting
when they
directly involved,
put them stealth
launching
bombers on, they was not
with
playing.
such bombers over Iranian territory. We will certainly learn more information as daylight comes tomorrow in the region. But the bottom line here is that a decision was made that will change the reality of the current war between Israel and Iran, and possibly create a scenario where the Iranians really have no other option than to give in. Because
They about to give in.
hit them so hard with these strikes, and the Israelis are continuing to take out their top military leadership, that the country is in a state of disarray. And so the bottom line here is that these strikes tonight show not only solidarity with the American ally in the Middle East, Israel, but also they show that the region is at a crossroads here. There are clear decisions that will have to be made by the regime officials that are still alive, and by the country's supreme leader and the country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian. And so certainly more hours ahead we will learn that information. But again, the bottom line tonight is that the decision was made by President Trump to take out, in effect, these nuclear facilities that the Iranians were using to enrich uranium closer and closer to weapons-grade material. You might remember back during the nuclear deal that President Trump pulled out of in 2018, the Iranians were enriching uranium at 3.67%. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency, they were enriching uranium close to 60% purity, getting very, very close to a weapons-grade purity, which would give them the component that they would need to create a nuclear weapon. And so this is a historic moment in the Middle East tonight, and again, an opportunity for the region, as the president laid out in his statement, for peace in the future, because this is a region that understands peace through strength. Brett?
Yes, that's definitely true. Church, stand by.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it at...
Right here.
All right, bringing you some breaking news now. We're just seeing U.S. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's go ahead and bring in Heidi Jo Castro, who's live for us out of Washington, D.C. Heidi, so the news emerging now from the U.S. president is that the U.S. has entered this conflict and has dropped bombs in Iran on 3 nuclear sites. What more do we know?
Listen.
Absolutely. This news breaking on Donald Trump's Truth Social website as you were just reading it, and there's little more that we know because this is him announcing it essentially to the world that the United States has officially joined this new dangerous phase of this war. It's notable that Trump just a few days ago had given a time window of, he said, 2 weeks for Iran to come back to the negotiating table for a diplomatic solution.
They ain't want to talk.
Obviously, only
They
a
ain't
few
want to
days
talk.
have passed.
They want to talk
And
now, don't they?
yesterday, he kind of foreshadowed this by saying it would be a maximum period of 2 weeks before he could issue a strike on Iran. And then today, we saw that scrambling of U.S. military assets, which people were quick to point out did not mean that this would be an immediate issuing of the strike, but rather could have just been moving assets into place. But now, apparently, we are seeing, quite to everyone's surprise, frankly, that Trump has indeed, he says, issued this strike. He says again that it was successful. He said that U.S. warplanes targeted at least 3 nuclear sites in Iran, and that they have already left the Iranian airspace. He called it a quote, very successful attack on Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, and that now these planes are safely on their way home. Now, the final part of his post saying, now is the time for peace. Certainly, that has yet to be proven to be true. Everything depends now on how Iran will respond, and there have been many people concerned that such an action as has just been taken by the U.S. military would do the very opposite, and rather than ushering peace, as Trump proclaims, that this may draw the U.S., and it already has, further into this war. What will the next step be? Will there be further escalation? Could there be still room for negotiation? Some experts say there might be, that Iran might come to the table after all, even after all this. But this is a stark moment of uncertainty for the world, as we have just learned that the U.S. has now bombed directly Iran.
Yeah, Heidi, as you mentioned, it's going to be very interesting to see if there is any potential link for negotiation going forward here. As you mentioned, President Trump said now is the time for peace in that post. Are there any indications that members of the Trump administration at this point would like to try to actually continue a dialogue with Iranian counterparts?
Well, Trump has all the time said he does want to do that. Even now, announcing that he has bombed Iran's nuclear sites, he still says that he wants peace. He's really trying to have both sides of it, to have his cake and eat it too, as they would say. Really, this is what the MAGA party is reflective of, in that there has been division, that there are many in the United States who want Trump to be an isolationist, to put America first, to have not taken the step of a direct military strike on Iran, which now he has taken. And he himself has proclaimed himself to be the peacemaking president now, contrary to the evidence otherwise. But certainly, he still wants to sign his name to a new nuclear deal with Iran, and he still has this hopefulness that there will be peace in the near future, and it remains to be seen whether that is wishful thinking.
All right, that's Heidi Jo Castro joining us live out of Washington with all the latest. Joining us here now in the studio is our correspondent, Dorsa Jabari. So, Dorsa, we've been waiting and wondering, and now we have the answer. Donald Trump saying that the U.S. has bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Are we hearing anything yet out of the Iranians?
No, we haven't had any official confirmation or reaction from Iranian officials, but what we do know is that Iran's position has been very clear. If the United States takes part in this military campaign inside Iran, alongside Israel,
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Will consider
You be
U.S.
safe.
targets in the region.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming through.
That means there's about 19 U.S. bases in the Middle East that are home to about 40,000 U.S. troops.
That's the thing of war, man. Sometimes innocent people gotta bear the witness or bear the pain off of this stupidity of their leaders.
U.S. President Donald Trump say they have done. Now, I want to point out that these 3 locations are significant in Iran's nuclear program. The facilities at Fordo and Natanz. These are the only 2 nuclear facilities that Iran has been enriching uranium at 60% levels. And also in Isfahan is where Iran is a facility that Iran uses to convert uranium, basically. And there's also apparently where, according to an IAEA report in 2022, 90% of Iran's high-enriched uranium is stored at this facility in Isfahan. So these are critical sites within the broader picture of Iran's nuclear program. There are 6 nuclear facilities in Iran, and the 3 the United States has targeted are a critical part of the whole program.
And Dorsa, if the U.S. president were to now try to leverage this action and say, we entered this conflict, but we are done with this conflict. We do want to try to go back to the negotiating table. You said a moment ago that the Iranians have been very clear that they are not going to be talking to the U.S. going forward, and that they had made very clear what they were going to do if the U.S. had entered this conflict. Is there any scenario that you can foresee that could potentially exist in which the Iranians could go back to the table with the U.S.?
It would be very difficult to see that at the moment, Mohammed, unless the regional states in the Middle East get directly involved and try to convince Iran that it would be in their best interest not to respond or retaliate. But the rhetoric coming out of Tehran, and given everything that has happened since June 13th, with countless assassinations and targeting of high-ranking Iranian officials inside Iran by Israel, at least 9 nuclear scientists have been killed by Israel. It's going to be very difficult for Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who is the commander-in-chief in the country, to let this basically pass without a direct response.
All right, that's Dorsa Jabari live for us here on set with all the latest out of Iran. We'll be coming back to you for more in the coming minutes and hours. Thank you, Dorsa. Let's talk now to our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett, who's on the phone with us from Washington, D.C. Kimberly, any more details emerging at this stage from the White House as to the confirmation from Donald Trump that the U.S. has bombed 3 sites in Iran?
Download the Kayak app to search and compare prices on flights, cars, and hotels from hundreds of travel sites. Then do what people do. Check sites Kayak.
What we know is that, in fact, the U.S. president, when he returned to Washington, this was something that was imminent. My sources that I've been talking to said that they knew once those B-52 aircraft were in the air, that this was...
You're welcome, Brett. Did you subscribe to our channel and like the video?
What we know
Where you from, Brett 81? Hey, Eliza.
To go after Fordo, which we know is the deep base that is buried underneath.
Y'all tap your hands on that
screen. We're not able to get at without U.S. help because what is required is those so-called 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs. And as a result, what we know is once those B-52s were in the air, those are the aircraft that carried those bombs. And it became eminently clear to those that were briefed on the plan that the plan was in place. And it was something, I'm told from my source, that was expected in the next 48 hours. And so this is now, in fact, coming a little bit even earlier than some of them had expected. Now, what we know is that there are actually 3 nuclear sites that have been struck. I'm still trying to narrow down which ones they are in particular, and you guys may have that information. But again, as those B-52 bombers were, B-2 bombers rather, were in the air, we knew they weren't going to stop, according to my source. What
you said the Taco Man going crazy.
You know, this is something that Donald
Where you
Trump
from,
just a couple
Didier?
days ago gave the world the indication that there was going to be room for negotiation. He said that he would make a decision within 2 weeks. Having said that, what we also know is that he had signed off on the plan to attack. He just hadn't given the go-ahead for it to be executed. And so the plans were in place, and they were ready to be executed. It was just a matter of Donald Trump making the decision. And he said very clearly, nobody knows except me when I'm going to make that decision. He said that a couple of days ago. And now, of course, we see...
And he made it a week to the day that he had that parade over here on his birthday.
Many people realize that even with planes in the air, this could still be more positioning of assets, which we've seen the United States doing in recent days. We've seen them positioning not only fighter aircraft, but also the warships. And we have also known that Donald Trump likes thing that turned Donald Trump around, according to the folks that I've been talking
Exactly, Mr. J. A lot of people are scared and saying we should mind our business. They don't understand what's going on. We got a gangster in the building.
I need you to take this. We warned you. You had 60
He already
days.
told us, fuck around and find out, right?
Israel went ahead and bombed, and after 6 days of bombing,
We finally got a president with balls.
top European officials, and there is no breakthrough. He was exasperated, and his time was.
And then they know not to mess with us. People don't understand that. They just scared and going by whatever people say, Trump this and Trump that. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. He could be saving us from some shit.
President's first pass will always be peace, but he's not afraid to use force. And he
Yeah,
has
he a gangster.
shown that.
They already knew
The sites
who
in
they was
question in
voting
Iran
at.
that were struck, according to the U.S. president, are Fordow, Natanz, and
Gangster
Esfahan.
T.
Let me ask you, are there any indications from the U.S. government at this stage or from Donald Trump as to whether this is considered to be over, or is this just the beginning salvo?
First of all, we should not have been able to comfortably go take down 3 of their nuclear spots. They can't come near our stuff like that. So that already lets you know. They was over there bullying Israel.
At the White House a few hours ago. He has
You know, all kinds of shit would be going off if they was headed for the United States.
And what he was asking,
They got caught
according to my sources, is he wanted to know if it was possible to strike these facilities to eradicate the program,
Right about
the
that,
nuclear program,
Mr.
and
J.
not draw the United States forces into a broader conflict. Now, you could argue that there are different thinking on this. Some people say this is going to draw the U.S. into a broader conflict. But what he was advised is that this could be an effective single strike type operation, that this would allow for the dismantling of the program and would still not allow for any
I'm glad you
escalation.
dismantled that stuff because they could one day try to use that on us. Are you
So
dumb?
based on that guidance, we could assume this is a one-off, but it all depends on how the allies of Iran will react. We know that they have strong alliances with China, with Russia, and we also know that there was a careful warning that was given to the United States in advance of these strikes, and that was, if you assist Israel, there will be a price to pay. So Donald Trump has been advised that as Commander-in-Chief, this will not lead to escalation. That is the guidance he's acted on. But he knows there is
One good thing we heard that they're on their way back here and they safe. They made it in and out.
That's Al Jazeera's White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett. Thanks so much for all those details, Kimberly.
Introvert life said, wait, what? God protect us all.
Social media platform,
You
Truth
right about
Social.
that?
We have
If
completed
you
our
speaking
very
and talking
successful
at the
attack
live,
on
he
the 3
protected
nuclear
you
sites
down,
in
buddy.
Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan.
Huh?
A full
I'm not
payload bomb was
processing
dropped on the primary
this
site of Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to
Ain't nothing happened yet.
There's not another military in the world that could have done this.
Hear that?
You're making it worse.
For peace.
I just say relax.
I heard what you said, right?
Did
I
what?
heard what Trump said. Then it's time for peace.
I gave him
In
the
the Middle
benefit of
East.
the
What
doubt,
y'all
because
think about
this
that
man
one?
knows that if he do that,
Wow, they're not
millions of
playing.
people will die.
Man, you
because
can't
of
pick the
the
United
president.
States.
There's no way that a president will do something so irresponsible. There's no way.
Following the breaking news that U.S. bombers carried out strikes today at 3 Iranian nuclear sites. One at Natanz, a site that had previously been hit by Israel. Israel and Iran have been trading strikes since Israel's surprise attack last Friday. Israel has already attacked the site at Natanz. Now the United States has done so as well. Another nuclear site near Isfahan in Iran. And also, according to the president, a facility called Fordow, which is a deeply buried facility. And that's important tactically because the U.S. military is believed to have essentially unique targeting capacity to hit a site like
He said it ain't gonna hit us. They not gonna hit us.
The United States has essentially developed weapons specific
Toaster
to
said
facilities
they not gonna hit us.
and so these B-2 bombers that have reportedly carried out these strikes tonight in Iran are aircraft with
Said
capacity
pack
that
your
can
bug out
deliver
bags. Pack your bug out bag.
common wisdom about this president, about the political movement that he leads, is that he is
Damn.
supposedly isolationist, that he is
With the
supposedly
wit.
anti-war. That has never been exactly
Like
right.
where he
because we
hit
have
them
no
at,
disease
like.
common wisdom. In less than 6 months back in office, he has threatened military
I don't know what it is.
action
I don't know.
against Panama.
What is he saying though? Where is he talking at?
Woman.
He ain't get up there to talk yet.
He has bombed Yemen over and over and over.
Or
again,
Rachel,
and
Ray,
now
Ray,
appears
Ron
to
Shear. I
have
don't know who that
entered the
is.
United States military into a
Let me
war on
get a
Iran.
little closer. Look, y'all.
Where he at?
For
yo?
Twitch, do you need to turn your shit sideways?
Nah, it don't matter.
Up and down look weird.
Up and down do look weird because everybody watches Twitch on the TV or on the computer. People don't watch on the phone.
But even on the phone look weird.
You gotta turn it sideways.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn my phone sideways. I gotta get so fucking high. I forget that this motherfucker I'm buying for people.
Let me see, man. How do you get to the news? Right here. So I just kept him out.
Iran safely and out was because the Israelis were destroying Iranian assets along the way that could have impeded the movement of these B-2 bombers. So the Iranians are aware that the Israelis are involved and that they contributed to this strike. So
Let me go back to real talk.
Quirky spelling and delivery, delivering the most sober possible message to the American people who have been largely opposed
Get a little
to
closer.
and afraid of a potential U.S. war with Iran. Again, 4 generations. Donald Trump has now started. We are expecting President Trump to address the nation just about.
You know what I'm saying? Israel that little?
That live when it happens. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is the White House.
What the heck is going on? Oh, let me get my glizzies. Let me get my glizzies.
Monica, they ain't playing. Monica, there we go. Monica.
Decision tonight and what we know about the potential scope of this motion.
Yeah, Rachel, this is look, this is an incredibly consequential decision of a massive scale for any president, of course, in particular for this one who had
Let
been
me put both of them in
he
here.
was going to win the bid Iran as much as 2 weeks to see if a diplomatic solution could be possible. We knew there were European leaders huddling with Iranian officials in Geneva.
How do they do this on YouTube?
He was even arguing from the tarmac when he was traveling yesterday in Air Force One that perhaps that was a possibility, which he had been also very clear that it was likely that if he didn't get the terms of the deal that he was potentially pursuing here, that the U.S. military could get more involved. Now, he's going to lay out, I'm told, his rationale to the American people for this when he does speak at 10 p.m., and he is going to, of course, talk about what this means in this moment. I'm told by a senior White House official that as of right now, he and the country does not and should not expect additional strikes. Again, at this moment, this has obviously been unfolding in real time, can change incredibly quickly, but that is the posture as of, again, this second. And we know that the president also just a couple of hours ago had a conversation with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. We know that this was a U.S. military operation that was heavily coordinated with Israel. They obviously were briefed on every step of the way. They knew this was happening. It was done, again, in a highly coordinated fashion, and that's not surprising. The president has been in touch with the prime minister pretty much every day over this last week or so when it comes to this conflict. And I can also tell you, Rachel, that he was traveling back from his property in Bedminster, New Jersey. He returned to Washington around 5:30 p.m. this evening, and he went to the Situation Room where he monitored a
much
Yeah,
of this
Dave.
in real time, again, with some of his top
Smash that like
national
button.
security
Appreciate you.
advisors, and where we know that this is something
Smash
that
that like
will be planned. It's going to continue to take place throughout the evening. We know that tomorrow he has another National Security Council meeting, and to the point that you started this show with about this question of the U.S. effectively being at war with Iran right now, this is the president that's going to need to come out and tell the American people why he made that decision, why this posture was one he felt was inevitable, and you're already seeing
This
a
shit
lot of
crazy.
and a bipartisan effort, we should point out, raising questions about this and using this kind of military authority without that congressional approval. We know there had been a resolution that had been in the works over the last couple of days to see if that could be put up for a vote next week that was anticipating this potentially. But again, this
I don't know
is
what's wrong with Rachel Face.
maybe perhaps the most consequential
I don't know if Rachel
decision
Face or
of this
Roger
second
Face.
term. Of course, there were many in the first
Richard,
term.
I don't know what it is.
A person who we need to remind everybody as a candidate repeatedly
Maybe
campaigning
they got that nuclear
on
meltdown on their face. I
ending
don't know.
all foreign wars and not pushing the U.S. further into these kinds of military.
Don't she look just like that guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark too? You right about that?
Approach to all of this, but I can also tell you, Rachel, just from talking to my White House sources a short time
Rachel,
ago,
Richard, I don't know what it is right
that
there.
this was able to be carried out covertly, that it didn't appear that anything leaked.
Kayla, you gonna put that
do
in
this
my
and
ear?
keep U.S. military and U.S. personnel who were involved as safe as possible throughout the evening.
I don't know what's wrong with this. I know this, Rachel, Richard, or Richard, they look kind of terrible. I don't know if they had a mental meltdown or whatever.
This is both a communications, White House communications question, and also sort of a strategic question, which is that I know that I'm sure that the White House has seen the American public polling.
His or hers, I don't know what's going on
And
with that
knows
picture.
that this is an unpopular move. The president has been so opaque, almost teasing in his remarks to reporters about how nobody knows what I'm going to do. The White House hasn't made an effort to try to publicly sell to the American people the necessity of a strike like this. They've done the strike now, and we don't know again if this will just be a one-off or this is the start of a longer engagement.
Hey, Carter.
Once you've bombed another country, you don't necessarily get a say.
He said smash that like button. Appreciate you.
End up with them in.
Thanks for the comment.
Is there a sense at the White House that there is going to be, that they meant to, they now plan to try to do more communication with the American people as to why this is necessary, why this is our war? Secretary of State, for example, Marco Rubio, has argued essentially the opposite to the American people in very recent days.
Yeah, just as recently as about a week ago when this conflict really began in earnest and all of the fire was being exchanged between Iran and Israel, that was the top line from many White House officials and senior aides saying that this was something where the U.S. was assisting Israel in its defense as missiles and drones were coming in from Iran, but that it wouldn't go beyond that and that this was Israel's conflict to manage. So you're right to note that there was a shift in that pretty dramatically, and the president began to say that he was very concerned about Iran's ability to build and have.
I'm ready to go to Trump. I think he's addressing the nation right now as we speak, so we're trying to get right to this and see what's really happening. Because we want to definitely get, keep you guys going, let you know, keep y'all guys up, what's going on there, and keep you update what's going on. So we definitely want to get to it, and so you guys can see what's going on. We don't want you to miss anything. I know it's Saturday night, some of y'all out partying, some of y'all ain't going out party because, right, the world we live in today is hard to go out. The only thing it seems like now is work and come home. That's the best thing you can do. Work and get the hell home because you might not even make it home. So that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to really get to it right now. They're addressing the nation. Here you go. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes
we
on
both.
the three
Right about
key
that.
nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat.
You can't do it out here?
You add them extra curls and stuff?
So y'all smash that like button.
Now, why did the live end? We have detected inactivity during your content.
Future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Wow. You heard that.
Iran has been saying death to
F around and find out.
to Israel. They've been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with
What does that
roadside
mean?
bombs.
Wow.
That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani.
Hey Tom, make sure you smash that like button. Thank you so much.
Might just be for videos and gaming.
I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister
I don't know what's going on.
We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight. And all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many
Yo, you had a dude in my chat, man. The toaster, I don't even know if he's still here. He said, "Oh, I guess I'm not welcome here." I scared him away. No, she don't mean that. She don't mean that. She just upset right now with what's going on.
There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most
Get your dog.
by far,
Thank you, Bubblegum.
Get your dog. Get your dog. Your whole door open.
Those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight.
Tell them again.
Not even close. There's never been a military.
There's some flags in there. There's some U.S. flags in there. Let's get some flags flying in here.
General Kane, Secretary
Get some flags, please, people.
Pete
Thank y'all so
will
much.
have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, you heard it from our leader in command, right? I heard from Donald Trump. Yeah, he said it all. And with that, hey, it is what it is. He's not playing with this thing, man. He said what he said.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes
One time for the
on
people in the
three
back.
key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying to America, death to Israel.
And a lot easier.
Blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I
Well, what you got
Get a little piece of that muffin. Let me get a little piece of that muffin.
You got both sides.
And most importantly, I want to
Let me get a little piece of that muffin.
magnificent machines tonight and all of the United States military on
Oh, he talking now?
of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully we will
He talking right now.
their services in this capacity.
He said we would no longer need their services in this capacity. That nigga was golfing today. Just got off the golf course 2 hours ago.
involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than
Yo,
over the last 8
he
days.
wildin'.
Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of
He said there's many targets left, but this was the most difficult one of all. He said he either gonna give us peace or we gonna go off these other targets. You hear this nigga? Listen to this nigga. People gonna be taken out in a matter of minutes.
Listen.
He wildin'.
Listen. Nothing.
Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God, I want to just say
He
we love
wildin'.
God and we love our great military, protect them. God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel. And
That's what I'm saying. Who the fighters? They going to listen to Trump. Know what I'm saying? They flew, got in the plane. They didn't refuse it. They got in the plane. Exactly. So this is what it is. This is going down in history right here. Look, June 21st. We ain't never had to send no bombs nowhere. We went over there, took out who we had to take out, and then we was done. This man bombing over there. So today, 6/21/2025, he done shot something over to blow another country out. There you go. He started it.
They ain't want to do it.
He started it.
They ain't want to. Hey, Chris, tell them again.
Huh?
I don't think they heard you in the back, Chris.
He said he was gonna be. They being bullies. He's being a bully. They bombing up each other. America goes over there trying to. It always happens. It always happens. Go over there policing people shit. Now we policing from far. Let me blow they shit up. Boom. Y'all niggas need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Blow them people stuff up. Crazy work. Crazy work. Blew them people shit up.
For those negotiations, as you mentioned, it was just 2 days ago that the president announced after yet another meeting in the Situation Room that he was going to give himself this 2-week deadline within which to make this decision whether or not to strike Iran, in part because he thought there was, quote, a substantial chance of negotiations, that they would be able to get Iran back to the table.
You know, bomb these people up, bro. Let me see. I know I even had the sub only.
Success, he is also not ruling out additional military action, saying that there are many targets left, that they will act with precision, speed, and skill if needed. How all of this will ultimately end Iran's nuclear program is a huge question. And of course, David, Iran has promised a severe response if the U.S. were to be directly involved, as we now are.
Say Iran had hit it with a severe response.
Live coverage at this hour. The president just addressing the nation.
Time to hit the dude.
U.S. striking 3
Where's my sensor?
President calling it a tremendous
Where's my sensor?
Speaking briefly with our John Carl earlier this evening.
I I gotta make this thing bigger. Wait a minute.
And Mary, you covered President Trump for some time. You covered him as a candidate whose promises not to engage in the Middle East in any more foreign wars. At the same time, he has long promised that Iran would not get a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, and you know, just again 2 days ago, the White House, while saying that they were giving themselves this 2-week timeline, again stressed that Iran was very close to getting a nuclear weapon, saying that Iran had everything it needed to achieve a nuclear weapon, and that once the Supreme Leader gave the go-ahead, that it could be just a few weeks before Iran had that full capability. Clearly, something changed in the president's calculus to make him go ahead and make this decision tonight. It is a remarkable turn for a president who avoided getting dragged into these kind of conflicts, and it is one that his presidency it will now define. That is for sure.
Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, with us live here tonight. Mary, thank you. I want to bring in John Carr, our chief Washington correspondent. I was struck that we're able to connect with the president even before he addressed the nation tonight. Again, he was confident in what he witnessed, what he's been briefed on following this operation, and made it clear to the American people that all of the U.S. military involved in this operation is back out of that airspace and on their way home.
I probably should have pulled up Ticky, huh? Should have pulled up the TikTok. Oh, TikTok, you probably can't even put that stuff on TikTok, right? Probably can't put that stuff on TikTok. I'm gonna look right now.
The operation, about the very difficult questions.
We just gonna mute you. Play live. Let's see what TikTok's saying.
Recycling day, and me and the recycling guy have beef.
Where's the live at?
But
I made a mistake with that. Hold on.
Bernardo, chat, hold on. On some real stuff, though. Hold on.
Joe Lewis 1990 says Saturday night, bro.
Hello.
Alright, switching to mouse and keyboard.
So
y'all about to go to a different website, chat?
They gonna cancel you.
Oh, damn.
TikTok just told me I wasn't moving. I had no movement or some shit. Yo, what's up? He's not the only people that's lying. What's going on?
You're not trying to kid around. Stop it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
They showing me the same people.
Halo Miss Marlon. Bisik bercanda.
Discover Live.
Wow. Laying in bed, just chilling. Same here.
Showing me all
in
the
bed,
games.
listening to music. By the way, do you coast around?
Kid is a certified
What have you done? Went off? You done went off live.
Dang.
more and more reaction from world leaders as well on social media, including from the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. We'll have that for you. We're also on the lookout for more and more of these statements from world leaders. We've gotten a lot of congressional reaction. We'll kind of go through that as well here from kind of the relevant committees. Remember, it was reported, courtesy of our colleague Chad Pilgrim there on Capitol Hill, that the Trump White House did give congressional leaders a heads up on this and also gave Israel a heads up on this too. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'm Andrew Kraft. We are going throughout the evening nonstop here with continuing coverage of a historic first, June 21st. Remember this day, 2025.
Say June 21st, historic.
Striking targets inside Iran militarily for the first
historic, going down in history.
In the meantime, though, like I said, let's re-rack it for you.
That's
in case you haven't seen
crazy.
this was the statement from President Trump now about an hour
This
ago.
when people gonna need their lights.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan.
He always look the same.
Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction
We gotta
of
watch.
Iran's nuclear
We gotta
enrichment
watch
capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state-sponsored terror. Tonight, I can report to the world
We gotta watch,
that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key
The
nuclear
Simpsons.
enrichment facilities have been completely
gotta
and
watch that
totally
episode.
obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace.
Iran,
If
the
they do
bully
not,
of the Middle
future
East.
attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far.
These motherfuckers behind ain't got no damn
Peace
life.
does not come quickly. We will go after those other targets with precision, speed,
You
and
don't
skill.
have no life.
Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This man spoke with dominance, bro.
All right, that was the brief message there from
He
President
knew.
Trump at the White House now about an hour ago, in case
He
you might have
spoke
missed
with
it there
dominance.
live. In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanking the
That's
president for these
crazy.
actions just tonight. He put this video message online. Let's watch.
Congratulations, President Trump.
Oh shit, here you go. Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision. You hear this?
Nuclear facilities
Listen.
with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Okay, there, Bibi Netanyahu with that message. We're also garnering reaction as well from many world leaders, including there at the United Nations, the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, with this message. He says this: I'm gravely alarmed by the use of force by the United States against Iran today, saying this is a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. There is a growing risk that this conflict could rapidly get out of control, with catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region, and the world. He says, I call on member states to de-escalate and to uphold their obligations under the UN Charter and other rules of international law. At this perilous hour, it is critical to avoid a spiral of chaos. There is no military solution. The only path forward is diplomacy. The only hope is peace. Coming there, the message from the United Nations. So I would imagine that come next week, the UN Security Council will convene, maybe on an emergency basis, to discuss this. It was a key focal point of our coverage on Friday. You heard from the Israeli ambassador. You heard from the Iranian ambassador there at the Security Council. In the meantime, speaking of New York City, remember, we're garnering reaction as well from local and state elected leaders here stateside. We're hearing from the NYPD. Take a look at this. They say this, that we're tracking the situation unfolding in Iran. Out of an abundance of caution, we're deploying additional resources to religious, cultural, and diplomatic sites across New York City and coordinating with our federal partners.
What the fuck?
We'll continue to monitor for any potential impact to New York City. Also, live in Los Angeles, over the airport there at LAX.
Yo, you know how much?
California governor.
So all them Iran niggas, all them.
Following the president's action in Iran,
all them motherfuckers over there in New York
is actively monitoring for any potential impacts.
Hey, yo, they about to go crazy tomorrow. You ain't gonna be able to get nothing from the store.
We urge everyone to stay vigilant and to report anything.
Them Iran niggas be in New York, bro.
From California Governor Gavin Newsom, kind of a coast-to-coast reaction.
They own the electronic stores.
Continue with so many of our
all them Afghani niggas,
reporters who really cover this each and every day. It's their job, the Middle East, including my friend now there, political scientist at UCLA, Benjamin joins me. Benjamin, good to see you here. You and I were speaking, I believe, on Friday. And now here we are. Your initial reaction, how momentous of an occasion is this? Not just for the United States, not just for kind of the Middle East. Is this a watershed moment? Would you characterize it as thus?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm still trying to catch my breath with the events of the last 2 hours. Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, since 1979 when it was conceived, has been a foil in foreign policy objectives and in the stability of the Middle East for the United States and for other regional allies and global allies for a very long time now. And this is a monumental shift in what that dynamic is going to look like. If the United States is able to effectively dismantle or cripple Iran's nuclear enrichment capability, it sends in a very, very powerful message, and it undermines Iran's ability not only to threaten allies and others in the region, but to project that power beyond its borders through its proxy groups. The message has been sent loud and clear. And the question now is sort of not just whether these installations have been sufficiently setback, but whether or not Iran's own system of government is facing a crisis as it decides how it's going to respond, and it is not, and it does not have any good options in front of it. So that's the other element here. Not only do we have the nuclear component, which is huge, and it's been a problem since the 1990s, but now we also have a crisis of survival, of legitimacy of Iran.
They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7,
a lot of those
8
questions, I would argue, maybe you agree with me, right now are extremely unanswerable. I'm going to ask them anyway because we're still so early into this. So that is the question now.
So the
what does Iran's nuclear program look like at this stage? Israel kind of set the preemptive stage for it, the entree to the strikes at so many of the nuclear facilities. And the United States kind of came up from the rear and helped them take out really the three crown jewels of the program itself. Fordo, Natanz, Isfahan here. So what is left? Will we know? How will we know? Will the IAEA tell us that Iran no longer has the capability to enrich? Will Iran eventually, time will tell, start up a program again 10, 15, 20 years down the road? What is the capability right now? And even before the U.S. strikes, I had asked you, what damage Israel had done to it. Now the U.S., according to President Trump, finishing it off carte blanche completely. That seems to be the sense, but to my previous question, how will we know?
Yeah, and so the Iranian officials indicated on social media and in reports a few hours ago that they've spent the last 7 days moving highly enriched uranium components and materials out of these facilities and into other secure areas. Now, again, they could be bluffing. We don't know if this is the case, but let's assume that Iran managed to get something out. Let's assume that and let's also go on the assumption that most of these facilities have been destroyed permanently, if not indefinitely. What remains is Iran's know-how, is the knowledge that its chief nuclear scientists possess, those who are still alive, and there's probably a good number that are alive. They still have the knowledge and the know-how to recreate or replicate the work they've done. They just now need facilities to do it. So to know effectively what's happened to Iran's nuclear weapons program requires either the IAEA getting access to the existing facilities without any restrictions. That's one option. The other option is to basically have Iran say, okay, we hear this now. We are willing to abandon nuclear enrichment as a whole, or to outsource it to other countries, which was the deal that the United States had offered earlier this month that was rejected. Or Iran could step on the gas and say, you know what, not only are we not going to stop enriching, we're going to accelerate, and we're going to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, because under that treaty, we have the rights to do so for energy purposes, and the United States violated international law by denying us that right. So there's multiple options. We simply don't know which path they will choose, because that's all part of this escalation ladder, which is the metaphor that's being used.
Let's put up the map again here. Jennifer Griffin has, I think, some really great reporting. It's kind of niche. It gets into the weeds, and you can help us kind of elucidate it. She says, I'm told by experts that the underground tunnel at Isfahan is a much harder target than Fordo, and it's not clear whether the Tomahawks were able to destroy it. A source says to her, there's no way they got in that tunnel. It's deeper than the calm and harder rock, according to a well-placed. She reports IAEA inspectors reported multiple times it was used for storage of UF6. Now, UF6 was one of the large precursor materials to make enriched uranium, but there was no enrichment going on
Iraq,
inside of that
Afghanistan,
mountain.
Pakistan, right there.
UF6, which is uranium hexafluoride, be accounted for and eventually removed.
Done bombed the Indians,
Also manufactured.
Turkey right up there.
So could it be that Isfahan was actually more important than Fordo?
So it appears that what was happening at Isfahan was that you were having the enrichment done at the secret facility in Fordo, where the most advanced centrifuges were developed or were running. And then that material was taken out of Fordo and being stored in Isfahan. So you have production in Fordo, you have storage and maintenance, and possibly conversion to, putting onto a warhead, that type of development happening in Isfahan.
Who
so
are
two
Iran
different
on
facilities doing
YouTube?
two different things. Now, whether or not you can destroy Isfahan, one can with the proper munitions, basically cripple access to it. So maybe the facility still stands, maybe the tunnels, maybe bunkers, maybe a huge size, depots, maybe halls, whatever facilities are still intact. But access to them, which requires, a tunnel entrance above ground, those can be crippled. Those can be eliminated.
They ain't gonna let us promote none of their news.
Because I don't think Iran really wants a massive regional war. They're in no position for it. They're weak, their economy is an absolute shambles, their banking system has effectively shut down, people are having trouble getting food, their energy sector is also in an absolute state of chaos. They've lost their regional proxies, as we've heard all morning, from one end of the region to the other. So yes, they will have to respond, they'll have to retaliate, they need to show face, save face.
So they gotta respond, they gotta retaliate.
They're not going to take it lying down, but exactly what they will do, we don't know. But I
It all of it. They don't bring back from the childhood that you when I used to open up the muffin. Y'all mothers 50 cent, yo.
I never said the muffin like
Thank you. Let's return to Dr. Matthew.
Even you gotta warm that shit up.
No, you don't need to.
Senior fellow at the Washington Institute.
This done 50 cent muffin. That's why I was like, this shit look like it's gonna be it. The other one around on the front side was raspberry. I was like, nah. I said I need blueberry. I'm walking around. I found the blueberry. I'm like, blueberry muffins gotta be up here. Grab it.
Party between those who felt that there had been a promise across presidential administrations going back years that Iran could not have a nuclear weapon on the one hand, and the very strong tendency within an element of the MAGA movement of isolationism, of ending wars.
Let me change it
but
up
there's a
here.
big difference between what the president did here and, say, the Iraq War. We're not talking about a ground invasion at all, let alone a massive one. We're not talking about an occupation. What the president is doing is using the unique American military authorities to try and bring an end to this war. And the Israelis have been very clear, this can't end until those 3 key nuclear facilities, which are particularly well hardened, were destroyed. And so I understand the president's action not only as one that is trying to fulfill a campaign promise he's made over the years that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, but he's trying to put an end to this war.
And Matthew, how would you see this in terms of domestic policy? How significant is
Blew these motherfuckers up.
domestic policy from the US president?
I don't really think it is a shift in his policy. I think there really is this split among his advisors, and that's why you saw him trying to buy a little more time. Of course, it's also possible that was just a tactic to, kind of catch the Iranians off guard. I don't think that the tension within the MAGA movement is going to end, but I think at the end of the day, the president said it himself. I'm the one who kind of made this movement. I get to decide what we mean by ending wars. This is not a for.
Hey, who?
That muffin is dangerous.
Contain their nuclear capabilities, it will be enough to ultimately assist with missile capabilities and attack regional allies and possibly Israel as well. So again, if you're talking about peace, is there going to be negotiations now that it appears that Fordo, Natanz, Isfahan, and Iran's nuclear capabilities are obliterated?
They said on the phone, Susan, whoever, Tehrani, correspondent in New York.
That would happen. What country would even do that?
Like, and you know what else that's crazy?
Defense capabilities on the negotiating table.
That mean they wouldn't have an embassy here in America.
What does peace even look like?
So that's just like.
Right, and having said that,
suppose he had a bomb, like.
After the U.S. strikes, saying that.
Like, don't everyone have an embassy? Like, wouldn't they have an embassy here? So how do people feel? Like, oh shit.
Back down, especially after what has just happened, and it is already because it is already anticipated. It is sure that there would be retaliatory attacks, or at least situations that would already pan out. Now, how do you think that Iran is realistically going to respond to these threats, and also
you hear the accent?
Very tangible strikes that have just taken place?
Yeah. So when he made those comments,
where did accent come from, yo? Even Indian people be sounding Caribbean.
He sort of said a few other things that the United States could target, and it was again about Iran's missile capabilities.
You got this Caucasus Mountain.
So whether or not he's thinking of helping Israel go after those as well, that's a threat, which is a legitimate threat. The United States could do that, but again, that would just, we're going into circles saying that then the United States would be bogged down in this war again, and that's not what the plan, at least initially, was. It was to get rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities. How
This
Iran
nigga done
can
killed
retaliate
kids
Strait of
just now,
Hormuz
yo.
is in its hands. It can, start
Whoever he
blowing up
blew up
American
over
ships
there, bro, he
It
done
can,
killed children.
even put
He done
mines
killed mothers,
without even
fathers,
putting it
people at
on the
work.
ground there, and the mines could start exploding. It could
That is
close the
just
Strait of
crazy.
Hormuz.
What time is it there?
Disastrous.
It's
Not only
it's
for the
actually
United States,
hit them in the afternoon.
and that way it might be able to get other countries to mediate and maybe, talk to the United States in some way, because the Strait of Hormuz is so important for the U.S. and also European countries as well.
Man, can we go on Google
Maps?
Maps?
Also, maybe have capabilities that.
Why you over here listening to your mother? Y'all don't know what I put on my paper. Y'all don't even know what I put on my paper though.
Something small.
Y'all don't know what I put on my paper. That's the only thing that is private. That's the only. That's the only. You don't know what I put on my paper.
For the most part, it has been able to get its missiles all the way to Israel, and it has a significant number of missiles to get to Israel as well.
Right, Susan, and the US president has said that the US has erased the threat to Israel and not this threat to the United States.
They on YouTube too. They get paid by Google too.
Israel has now
You hear that
dragged the United
accent?
States into a vulnerability that could result in a broader escalation in the Middle East.
This is
Now, do you
Israel-Iran
think the
war,
conference,
bro.
which will be held by the top
This
military
man
leaders
is
on
joined
Sunday,
in.
is going
Put us
to
in shit.
justify the claims further, or is it
He
going
didn't even
to
put a vote. They should have put
these,
another
powerful
vote
emerging
inside the damn
in the American
vote.
taxpayers' mind and right.
They should be like, you guys need to vote by Monday.
Yeah, it's a very.
He could have put this shit out today and say, at the United States, nobody goes to work tomorrow until they vote.
They just have to. We'll see what they say.
And mandated it before he go ahead and did this shit. Like, if y'all,
That this was a clear.
if everybody voted to go bomb them, then you know what type of America we had.
Or else, American national security interests, American lives,
Whoever not
here
gonna
at
vote,
home,
not gonna vote.
troops abroad. Something very bad would have happened if the United States didn't take this action
America
right
should
away.
be
That's
free,
the convincing
man.
that they have to do. And the American public, they're pretty patient, but when their patience declines,
Your guy knows.
you can't get that
Who?
public opinion back. So, like I said,
Your
for now,
guy
it's hard
knows
for
the
President
beginning
Trump
and
will
the
lose
end.
any support from doing this one-off strike.
whatever
Moving
happens,
forward, and let's see what the generals say. I think we texted the defense secretary is also expected to speak. Are they going to be convincing the American public? And when I say the American public, Congress is an extent of that. Or is this debate going to continue? And if President Trump then becomes that president and just does everything by himself, then, like I said, he may be able to do that now, but the price will be paid for Republicans during the midterm. No question about that. And the Republicans cannot afford to lose the House and Congress.
Right, Susan, and the next obvious question is, of course, what next? Do you think there's still any scope for diplomacy, and at whose terms is it going to be? Because from what's happening, we understand the US thinks it has gained an upper hand over Iran by the virtue of the latest strikes that it has called to be highly successful, as they've obliterated Iran's nuclear capability to a great extent. Now, do you think after everything that's transpired in the last 1 week, more than 1 week, do you think there's still scope of diplomacy to bring Iran back to the table and negotiate terms that can actually be implemented?
Maybe, because, maybe Iran will see that the United States was serious when it mentioned this, because the Iranians knew that Americans had the capability to take out Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, notably Fordow, but the Americans were the only ones that were able to do that. The Iranians knew that. They just never thought the United States would go as far as to do this. So
They didn't even need that shit.
what it takes for Iran to come to the negotiating table, and from an optimist perspective, they would say that maybe it could lead to some kind of deal where Iran is contained, and then it opens its doors and it becomes part of the international community, which is the promise that Europeans and Americans made when they were trying to make that deal. But again, maybe not. Maybe ideologically, in terms of national security, public opinion, and whatnot, maybe the Iranians will see this as an opportunity to attack the United States and Israel more Israel than the United States, because the ethos of the Islamic Republic, the foundation of it is to get to wipe Israel off the map. So, you know, if this is an opportunity for them to be able to do this, I mean, they have a holy decree for this. If this is an opportunity for them to do this, and if they are willing and capable, that's the most important thing, then they might just go ahead with that route. It might be better for them. But the hope is that someone is going to come to the negotiating table and say enough of this nonsense.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Susan, for helping us unpack these latest developments. And of course, we'll keep coming back to you throughout the day as and when we have more updates.
Yo, these people is staying awake.
And the White House has released pictures of President Trump in the Situation Room. Trump can be seen in the Situation Room with several members of the cabinet monitoring the U.S. strikes on Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Trump's Chief of Staff Susie Wiles were also present in the Situation Room. And these are the latest pictures that we're getting.
You gotta hope that he hit their nuke spots.
Very short break, but more news and updates.
And they got
will follow
8
on the
nuke
other side.
spots.
Keep watching Beyond World is One.
He bombed them. He dropped 3. Yep. He's the leader of our United States. He's doing wrong. And it's not him that's doing it, it's the people that do it. Not him. You know what I'm saying? These regular people that get up every day, get up, go to work, they listen to him. Because that's their job. It makes you think about what job do people really want.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful back.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking
What about the person that's flying the bomb?
And while you do that,
Oh yeah, but you want to do it.
with deeper insight
Yeah.
The show that
See,
keeps
different
you
type of
ahead
people
of
around the
the
world,
curve.
man.
A conversation you'd want to be a part of. A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
He said
Join
your
the
present.
conversation.
Was this the Iran people? I like how they got their little layout.
So I loved watching Devon's Business Master series, and it's great to actually hear from some of the figures that you've actually seen from a distance, and to hear from them about their professional as well as personal, things that you don't hear otherwise. So I think it's a great series that actually brings in more depth and gets more
That's what I'm
information out
saying.
of.
Sound like Caribbean people too. West Indian. I type in Iran news. They the only one. U.S. Army joined Iran. Shit crazy. Or we can just stay wherever, just stay where we at. We all together. I don't gotta go nowhere. Your sister work right there. If she wanna stop going to work, she just stop going to work. And your mother just go do what she gotta do and come back home. You just live the life regular. Don't try to run, because we don't know what's gonna happen. So Me, us saying pack the bug out bag meaning if something happens next door, close by us, we can leave, or we can just sit and wait it out. Them bombs like meteors, dog.
They're big.
Flying through the sky. Above my pay grade. You motherfuckers got rockets to go to the moon. They shoot a rocket and land on people's houses. It's crazy that these people is videoing this shit. These people gotta stay in their house and pray. And now look, he done started some shit. We don't know if they're gonna retaliate or not. The thing is, what would you do? Did Israel shoot first, right? Okay. God's people gonna shoot first. I'm just joking. I'm just... And now y'all want help and ask Bugle gonna shoot the motherfucking shit over there to help them. You know them Indian people don't care.
You're gonna have to like use air dry on and like sit there and let them air dry, or have to blow dry them?
No Indian people don't care, boy. Done.
Yeah, I'm saying when I'm done, I don't know if you want to tie your hair up.
They done, yo. Bomb these people up, bro. You can hear that shit. That's scary. That's scary.
Okay, so I have a question.
The last time I was scared like this was when it was Y2K.
Trump, all the things, it's either that he got to get every last one of them for us to be safe and not have Washington, D.C. bombed, right?
It's not possible.
Okay, so the bomb is going to miss a few.
It's 8 sites that they got with nukes. 8 different sites all over Iran. And he shot 3. He shot 3. He shot 3 missiles over there. So who said he hit any of them? You don't know.
He said he was successful. That's what he said.
But if you hit 3 out of 8, they still got more. So we're just dropping right now in front of their face. This is dropping right in front of niggas' face. And this nigga got like, what would you do if you was the leader of a country and me and these other countries battling, which is another war around the world that happened, that started World War III. Would you have interfered into that?
No, why my third party interfered? That's just like if you was playing the game, you went caught or something.
So say you was Iran. So if you was Iran right now and America bomb you, and you the president of Iran, and they bomb your, and America bomb your people, what you gonna do?
It's a lot of them. I don't know. I gotta come first. But they ain't nobody. That's the thing. They ain't nobody for a long time. I don't think. It depends. If you really knew about it for a long
America just bomb you, and they just third party your beef. What are you doing?
There's nothing that you can do while you're there. If you ain't expecting to hit any day, but it depends how long you knew it was going to happen.
You ain't listening wrong hand.
You're asking what would I do, but how long did I know that I was going to get bombed? How long?
What does it matter?
Because if it was a little minute, then I have time to plan, try to tell my people like, hey, y'all gotta pack up, get up out of here. But if it was something
You
like,
just got bombed by America, and America third party your beef with somebody else.
I'm happy to be alive.
Are you gonna send a missile back to the person that third party you?
No.
Okay.
Yes, because that's not fair. You imagine how they would feel the way I'm feeling. I'm grieving. Some of my people aren't here. I'm here. Why would I go hurt somebody else and have them feeling the same pain I'm feeling? Okay, but if I feel a type of way, why would
You beefing with a girl at school. This other girl just started to beef with you. Nothing happening. This person that bombed your people and you ain't got nothing to do with you. They just bombed your people. You beefing with somebody else and they bombed your people.
Because me getting my feedback after and I'm grieving, that's just making it worse. I'm taking my grief and my anger out on somebody else. I don't want them to feel how I feel.
Okay.
Now, if some other people was like, we gotta get him back, I'll be like, all right, let's get him back. And I'll make a way how to spend it, but I wouldn't be straight like, oh, they just bombed me? Yeah, we all coming together. I'm not gonna do that.
It's not gonna be good.
It's gonna be coming back 10 times harder.
I'm just thinking about the conversations
The
that
lady already said that they had a lot going on. They already had a lot going on, so why would I even interfere with nothing like that?
I just said the third party person joining your beef.
Right, and the lady on the news just said that they didn't even want to battle back because they already had a lot of stuff.
You need to eat one of the muffins too.
Mommy has to sit down and drive.
78, huh? Can't tell the numbers is wrong.
The muffins good?
That's it good, huh? Damn, hit these niggas on the street. I don't understand, like, why they even, like, what? What make you want to bomb somebody else? Shit, I just don't understand. No, I'm not worrying about him. I'm talking about how they both started. Like, nigga, you're killing innocent people. And then this dickhead gonna kill innocent people. Cause he gonna shoot this shit and bomb this shit out. Right. Those shit flying through the sky.
Oh, they got pictures of what Iran looked like. Oh, it's fucked up.
Did they put how many people it killed?
Is Iran and Russia allies? Who allies with Iran?
They are perfectly capable of going after U.S. troops, and there are 40,000 of them in the region, David.
It's a very important point, Martha. Martha, thank you. And again, Martha, underscoring the fact that we are, as a nation, the U.S., now at war with Iran tonight. The president warning again on social media moments ago what he said at the top of the hour in his address to the American people, warning against retaliation from Iran, saying there would be even greater force, greater speed from the U.S. if Iran or its proxies retaliate in any sort of way. I want to get right back to our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, who has been live on
China
the
and Iran is together.
Many nights in a row now here. And Ian, for folks who are watching back here in the U.S.,
they said in 2016, China and Iran signed a comprehensive strategic partnership
region. What kind of threat do they face? You and I have been talking about how the air defenses in Iran have been significantly wiped out, perhaps 50% or more by the action taken by Israel in recent days. But that doesn't mean that there aren't ways for Iran and its proxies to retaliate.
They got all the
in many senses,
the
the
Arabs.
speciality of Iran, it has contracted out.
They got Syria,
its
Lebanon,
it's known
Kuwait,
as the world's #1
Iraq,
sponsor of terrorism. That's a phrase that we've heard repeatedly.
Saudi Arabia, Jordan, United Arabia,
Lebanon, Hamas,
Emirates, or whatever it is.
also in Gaza, but also other groups.
Here we go. We back with the bombs again on the plane. The terrorists. We back with this shit now. Gonna get crazy. All the niggas in New York gonna be crazy in the morning. And them niggas prayed and went to sleep early last night. It's crazy in New York right now.
With their families and diplomatic
What's going on in New York?
In the region reduced. We were reporting on World News just 24 hours or so ago about people American citizens trying to leave Iran, some reportedly experiencing difficulties doing
U.S. facilities in the region, so they're trying to leave over there.
Retaliatory strikes. Now, as you said, what is Iran's capacity? Israeli officials telling me that they believe that they have neutralized, that was their phrase, neutralized 50% of Iran's ability to fire missiles.
They say neutralize 50% of their ability to fire missiles back over.
In other words, it has plenty of missiles, its capacity to launch them. But when Israel said that it controlled the skies, what that looks like on the ground is there are Israeli drones constantly over Tehran. Something that would have been unthinkable just a couple of weeks ago, especially to the Ayatollah, and Iran's capacity to gather intelligence, to respond, to act without interception has been severely diminished. Its key allies, Russia and China, are standing to one side. They have no appetite to get involved in this. I mean, conversely, Russia has benefited because the price of its own energy supplies has skyrocketed. But there are concerns specifically about the oil supplies that come out of Iran. 20% of the world's oil supplies go through the Straits of Hormuz. We saw previously that the Houthi rebels inside Yemen were capable of striking US carriers as well as other international carriers. That is a group specifically that I think we should be watching. That will have an impact on oil prices, and the US doesn't depend on oil from that region in the same way that the Europeans and the Chinese do, for sure, but it will have a potential knock-on effect. So there are a number of ways that Iran could retaliate. But the president was very clear, we shouldn't lose track of that if Iran didn't acquiesce, that if it didn't sign up to some kind of peace process, there would be further action.
Ian, you and I both
What
know
is
that the
Michelle
president
and Barack
is not
doing
talking
right
about
now?
regime change in any sort of way, and certainly didn't tonight in addressing the American people. Instead, obviously talking about the desire to, and he said they were completely, totally obliterated when he talked about Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan, these three nuclear sites in Iran. But you can't help but to think about the future of the current leadership of Iran, and in particular the supreme leader, who the president has talked about in recent days. Obviously, too early to know, but
in New York,
would see
about to blow New York up tomorrow.
So this is what they
is
say.
somewhat in
This
question.
is the, they have city cells in New York.
Exactly, and we've heard again repeatedly from the Israelis. I mean, certainly when there was that very heavy strike here when that hospital was hit, we had the Israeli defense minister directly blaming and threatening the Iranian supreme leader, suggesting that he would be a valid target. Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Israeli president, who I spoke to, also said that he was a key part of the problem.
I know them niggas in New York is over there. They all Middle Eastern, bro.
Was adamant that that wasn't part of the agenda. However, when you weaken an authoritarian regime like that, when you force someone like Ayatollah Ali Khamenei underground, he's not being seen in public, apart from once or twice, that raises questions in people's minds. The regime lives and dies on its ability to project.
You tell me they letting these motherfuckers be here to study their ass?
Force on the ground, and that has been diminished. It has been suggested to us that the Israelis, as well as going after military targets, could go after state security targets. If those forces are no longer powerful, then it may well lead to further action. Certainly, Iranian, Persian friends that I know believe that people will respond on the ground. It's early days, we're not seeing it yet, but the capacity for self-generated change has now just gone up dramatically.
Okay, so Ian Panel, you bring up the very important point of the potential ways in which Iran could react across the region there. Ian Panel, tremendous reporting all week long. We appreciate your coverage with us here on a Saturday night. Stick with us. I want to bring in Pierre Thomas, our Chief Justice Correspondent, back stateside, covering the domestic threat. Of course, people watching us here on a Saturday night, Pierre, want to know what is Iran's capability, not only to react.
What is their capability? Come on, black man.
With thousands of U.S. military stationed across the region, but also here in the U.S., we know that there are lone wolves, there are actors that certainly Iran would hope would want to react in some sort of way to the U.S. action we witnessed tonight. What are U.S. authorities here in the homeland prepared for potentially, and what have they said?
Well, David, one of the things they're most concerned about in the immediate future would be the potential for cyber attacks. Iran and its proxies have shown some capability to project from thousands of miles away. That's an immediate threat. DHS actually put out a notice just a couple of weeks ago after the Israel started to attack Iran, warning the U.S. infrastructure, that's the electrical grid, energy sector, financial sector, to double check their computer systems to make sure that they have the proper defense mechanism. So that's a concern. There's obviously always been concern about the ability of Iran to project inside the United States. Do they have operatives here? The U.S. government has made a number of cases involving Iranian operatives in the United States attempting to impact dissidents here, that sort of thing. Also, there would be concern about just a general reaction to the notion of the U.S. government, the U.S. military, taking a military strike to the homeland of Iran. So officials here will be looking at that kind of thing as well, David.
Pierre Thomas with us on the potential threat here at home as well. And of course, you say, Pierre, that what authorities within the administration are most concerned about at this point, and at this point, we point out it's very early in this sort of new chapter we're in, potential window of time here where there could be any kind of reaction, retaliation from Iran or its proxies. Most concerned about a potential cyber attack, as Pierre said, though there could be other operatives that the U.S. Is keeping its eye on as well. I want to bring in Rachel Scott, our senior political correspondent, and Rachel obviously covers the White House, Capitol Hill. She covered President Trump as a candidate. And Rachel, you heard Mary and I talking about this notion earlier that this is a president, obviously, who has campaigned not just in this campaign when he was elected back to the White House, but in the campaign leading to his election in 2016 on campaigning against American interventionism, against American any kind of a role for the U.S. and U.S. military in the Middle East, any kind of increased role in these costly, dangerous conflicts. His supporters will say that's not in conflict with what he has also said about nuclear war, and that Iran should never get its hands on a nuclear weapon. And that's the case he's trying to make in these last couple of days leading up to this action that he authorized tonight.
Yeah, his supporters definitely, David, will say both things can be true here, that the president can be adamant that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, but also at the same time can still want to be a unifier, a peacemaker. You heard those calls for peace again today coming from the president as he addressed the nation again tonight. But there is no doubt this has created a divide within the Republican Party, even leading up to this. As we were reporting that the president was warming up to the idea of U.S. involvement, of possibly striking Iran, we heard from a number of Republicans who did not want the president to move forward with this, who expressed concern and frustration about the U.S. being involved, primarily because of that campaign promise that the president made, that he was going to be a unifier, that he was going to be a peacemaker, that he was going to withdraw the United States from these ongoing foreign conflicts. This, of course, directly goes against that. It's at odds with that. At the same time, David, I will tell you that speaking to my sources and Republican members on Capitol Hill, the president received numerous calls from Republican lawmakers, even from Senator Lindsey Graham, who was urging the president to get directly involved. He wanted to see the United States join Israel's effort in this. And obviously, the president also, I'm told, getting a lot of pressure directly from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as well. We've also been working the phones, David. We are learning tonight that Speaker Mike Johnson and also Senate Majority Leader John Thune were, in fact, notified that the U.S. was going to be carrying out these strikes. We're also told that Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries was also notified as well, but given very little details. We are also told, David, from multiple sources that the Gang of Eight, this is the top leaders on Capitol Hill in both the Senate and the House, that they were not given a full briefing as the United States made this decision, the Trump administration making this decision to move forward with these strikes, David.
Rachel Scott covering this as well with us here tonight. Rachel, always great to have you with you and your context as well. I do want to mention the statement that's been released by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, obviously. Video statement. He congratulated President Trump for his, quote, bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities. The United States, Netanyahu said, has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. And as you heard Rachel say, you heard other correspondents here along the way point out that this was exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu had been hoping for, that the U.S. Would become directly involved with Iran, which is what played out tonight. President Trump addressing the nation about 53 minutes ago now to let the nation know that the U.S. military has struck 3 nuclear sites deep inside Iran, Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Obviously, Fordo is the site that in particular, deep beneath the ground, beneath that mountain, B-2 bombers were used. We believe those 30,000-pound bombs were also used to target these sites. The president saying they are completely, totally obliterated, though we'll have to see in the hours and days to come what kind of assessment from international observers can be made about the damage done tonight, though clearly there was significant damage done, and the White House believes beyond repair in many cases. I want to bring in retired Colonel Steve Ganyard again with us. Steve, you and I have been talking about U.S. military capability, and regardless of where people stand on this politically, this was a significant use of force tonight, and something that has long been studied by not only this administration, but administrations before it. President Trump, the president who has decided to move forward with this in a key moment when air defenses were significantly weakened in the skies over Iran, Israel essentially controlling those skies as U.S. B-2 bombers flew in tonight.
Yeah, David, John Carl is reporting that Tomahawk missiles were also used in the strikes tonight. Now, Tomahawk missiles, as you remember, are cruise missiles, and they hug the earth, so they fly very low. And they aren't intended to do this deep penetration that we needed the B-2s for. So the point here is that it really was just the B-2 crews that were in danger tonight. We didn't put any other U.S. forces over Iran, so there was very little risk other than to those B-2 crews. Given how sophisticated the B-2 is, there's very little likelihood that the Iranians will be able to do anything about it. So the question will be, how far will the president be willing to go depending on the Iranian reaction, in terms of deploying military force that may involve putting U.S. forces at greater risk than we saw tonight.
And of course, Steve, you heard the president there warn that if peace doesn't come quickly from Iran now, that we will go after additional targets with speed and with skill. We have that animation that shows what these bunker buster bombs can do. If we can show that, because a U.S. official now confirms that B-2 bombers dropped a number of massive ordnance penetrator bombs. As you know, that's the long term for these bunker buster bombs, 30,000-pound bombs. Now confirming to ABC News that they were used in this mission tonight over Iran. The official also confirming that a number of Tomahawk cruise missiles were fired at targets inside Iran from a U.S. Navy submarine. You heard President Trump addressing the nation 10 p.m. Eastern here tonight. Brief words and then getting on social media again shortly thereafter to warn Iran and its proxies against any sort of retaliation. But at first word tonight, which came shortly before 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, the president saying we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs, he said, was dropped on that primary site of Fordo. That is the key site that is deep beneath sort of a range of mountains there. And we had reported for some time that it would probably take those bunker busters to actually do significant damage to that nuclear facility. And again, ABC News now confirming that those B-2 bombers did drop those 30,000-pound bombs. Our coverage will continue first thing in the morning for many of you. Your local news is next. Good night.
Those bombs is 30,000 pounds.
From ABC News.
30,000-pound bombs.
The origin of Call Her Daddy was to make women feel liberated. I know what they want, because I want it too.
New York gotta be wilding right now.
This is a scary time to be in. Is anyone here? No.
What is New York saying?
I'm low-key kind of like.
It makes me feel unsettled.
Yeah, like how the fuck can I go to see tonight? There's no one, some bombs might fucking go off in the middle of the fucking night.
I need to be high. I don't feel
Yeah, I'm about to get high right now. There's too much going on. There's too much going on. Lord, please forgive me for all my sins, knowing and unknowing. Amen.
She's cured.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go left.
That man shot them bomb on people.
Are you a billionaire yet? None of your business.
That man let your bombs go on them people.
Look at what life is like in here today? Absolutely not.
Do you think people visiting know that these were looted?
When stories threaten our way of life, 60 minutes.
Did you get your edge stuck?
Yeah. I don't think it made a difference though. Do you think it
made in Washington. So we do have more news to get to. Reading from the Associated Press right now here, they report this, that the United States is stepping up evacuation flights for American citizens.
Evacuating flights for American citizens.
And continuing to draw down its staff at diplomatic missions in Iraq amid fears of Iranian retaliation as U.S. interests in the Middle East grow. So we do have these live pictures there in and over Jerusalem. You can see there the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Dome of the Rock, the Gold Dome there. Also, yet another vantage point.
So what's up with the evacuation shit?
So the Associated Press has it as follows, that even before those airstrikes were announced by the president on Saturday night in Washington, that the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem announced the start of evacuation flights for American civilians from Israel. So it's almost 7
American civilians from
on a very
Israel.
early Sunday morning. 67 American citizens left Israel on 2 government flights bound for Athens on Saturday, and 4 more evacuation flights to Athens were planned for Sunday. That's according to an internal State Department document seen by the Associated Press. In addition,
America's could evacuate Israel.
1,000 American citizens, including several hundred Jewish youngsters who've been visiting Israel on an organized tour that's known as the Birthright Program. They are in Cyprus, according to that very same document.
They want to fight for America.
So we have live pictures there. To Jonathan Schanzer's point and Michael Makovsky's point, it does look like Israel has, for the time being, paused some of their own kinetic strikes on targets inside Iran, at least for now. So, like I said, when we do approach the top of the hour in about a minute and a half here, we're going to be replaying for you the statement from President Trump. He was flanked by his Vice President, by his Secretary of State, and by his Secretary of Defense. And then, of course, we're going to be diving into even more expert analysis and commentary. Remember, we're relying so heavily on the Foundation for Defensive Democracies. More analysts on the deck for that. And then we're going to be giving congressional response. A lot of varied responses, some lauding and really touting this move by the president. Others saying it was blatantly unconstitutional. Also, some saying that President Trump should be impeached for it. We'll break down all of those reactions. Some Democrats, especially like Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in the House, saying that the president needed congressional authorization to do what he did tonight. Of course, he didn't get it. And we'll be breaking down some of those key questions on Capitol Hill in just a moment here. So, I want to thank all of you for being with us. It's been a very, very busy night. We're catching our breath here as we go into yet a new hour. And we're at that hour here, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, midnight there on the East Coast. I'm Andrew Kraft. This was the message from President Trump tonight, announcing the United States for the very first time struck targets inside Iran at 3 nuclear facilities. Let's watch.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say,
get our mind
we love you,
off
God.
this. You go on Twitch. You on Twitch. crazy, man.
Yes, you got 10 hours, but it's a lot of like outside living. I don't know, bro.
Shopping. Mo live at 12 in the morning. Damn, Jay-Z up.
But I am a fucking quick trigger shooter, bro. I don't know how to do none of that dribbling shit. I left it the fuck out here.
Yeah.
I'm the.
All you gotta do, like you got it. Basically. Go ahead.
No, I'm the. Give me that, bro. I need a keyhole, and I'm shooting. I don't need a fucking window. I need a keyhole, and I can shoot. The fucking people that dribble, they need fucking windows, bro.
Yeah. But nah, it don't take much. Like, you know how to play the game. If you put on the right animation, I can tell you how to cancel it, and you can be moving. Cause that's what I got like a 85 on my Zion.
I don't. It's just he doesn't do well for me because I feel like I do. Okay, so I do sometimes I'm on fucking
Ready to go to bed now.
Once we get out of here, turn on Jalen Suggs. I bet you.
If you want to give me a whole little lineup of fucking animation, I'll check it out.
Ready to go to
I
bed
ain't
now.
never that big to try shit, bro.
Whatever it
You know
is, it
it's
is.
the first one.
Video got to upload.
You said
Put your plus one.
Is it
Jalen Suggs?
What the? What is it? His what?
You need his hop jumper and his what's the other one? Yeah. Just a top jumper to cancel.
Alright.
And then I'll get you
YouTube, I'm gone. Catch y'all tomorrow. I'm uploading something right now. The long video that we did earlier. So, yeah. Catch y'all another one.